Hey, would you like to know exactly what to eat to lose fat and get healthy without giving up your favorite foods or starving yourself? Doing keto right. I'm gonna explain some basics, so listen up. If you'd like to get as healthy as possible by truly understanding how the body really works, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, so that you don't miss anything. The ketogenic diet is getting more and more popular, but what is it really all about? Some people want to eat as much fat, but it's really more about how much carbs you're not eating. So the whole idea is to reduce insulin and insulin resistance. So when we eat something with sugar or carbohydrate, then the body has to create insulin to get that sugar out of the bloodstream. And when we eat carbs, we get a quick blood sugar rise, so we need a large insulin response, and over time that leads to insulin resistance. And that's the whole purpose of the ketogenic diet, is to undo the damaging effects of insulin resistance. So what is a high-fat diet? That's really the crux, because most people think that high fat is anything over 25% fat. Because most politically correct diets are low fat, which means 25% or less, so when we get up to a 40, or 50, or 60% diet, they think that's outrageously high fat. But the problem is 60% fat isn't high enough, because it still allows 40% of calories to come from carbohydrates and protein. And 40% is going to trigger a whole bunch of insulin still. So carbs have a very strong insulin response. Proteins have a slight insulin response, and fat has zero, or negligible, insulin response. So what most people try to do when they want to lose weight, is that they just try to cut back on everything. That's called starvation. And the body doesn't like starvation in the long run, so it's not sustainable. And that's why most restriction diets don't work. Deprivation diets don't work. So if you cut back on the carbs, then you have to increase something else. And the only thing that you can increase without creating more insulin resistance is fat. Now the good news is, there are healthy fats. Fat has been demonized, because we have all these terrible processed fats. We have trans fats, and processed vegetable oils. And shortening, and all those fats are terrible, they will kill you. But it's not about saturated versus unsaturated, it's about processed versus unprocessed. So what you're looking for, is whole healthy fats. Things like butter, and coconut oil, and olive oil, and even lard, if it comes from a healthy animal. Of course you can also include healthy vegetable fats, and fish fats from avocado, and fish, and nuts, and things like that. Those are all good healthy fats, and you can eat as much of those as you like. So the key is, in order to get the ketogenic effect, in order to get the body to rely more on fat burning than carb burning, to train your body away from a carb metabolism to a fat metabolism then, which is the only way to actually start burning the fat that is stuck on your body, you have to get very low carb. So we're talking, some people can get away with about 50 grams of carbs a day, and they start transitioning into a fat burning metabolism. Other people, they're kind of so stuck in their insulin resistance, that they have to cut way back, maybe as low as 20 grams a day to help the body to transition and make those changes. So a ketogenic diet can be very beneficial for most people's health. For some people it might be the only way to lose weight without starvation. And if we starve ourselves, it's not sustainable, because your body will protest and you'll go right back to what you were. So how do you get into the ketogenic diet? How do you transition into it without feeling bad all the time? So first, you want to try to cut out your processed foods. They're usually very high carb, but they're also very low nutrient. So cut out the white sugar, the white flour, all the breads. And cut out all of the processed vegetable oils that have no nutrients, and are full of chemicals and rancid byproducts. Those are the things that interfere with your health. So once you've got those out of the way, now you have a more nutrient-dense food supply for your body. And then, once you've done that, you're less dependent on carbs already, and you're gonna have fewer cravings. So now you start gradually cutting back. Maybe cut back 10% per week on carbs and increase gradually on protein and fat. And then, once you're more into sort of like a paleo diet, you've eliminated grains, you're eating mostly vegetables and meat and fish, and healthy fats. Now your body is ready, so now you can cut your carbs way down. And you want to keep track of your carbs, you want to keep a food diary so that you know how much is going into your body. And now you want to get it down to 50, 40, 30, 20 grams. Whatever is necessary for you, and everyone is different. It depends on how our metabolism, or size, or activity level, how insulin resistant we are, how long we've had it. So the only way to be sure, is to measure your ketones in some way, and you can do that by urine or blood, or by breath. And then, the next question is, once you're in ketosis, you're doing fine, you're losing some weight. How long do you need to keep that up? How long is a right time? Well, for some people they might want to do it for a lifetime, for other people they may not need to do it for a lifetime. So after you've done it for 6 months, or a year or two, Then you might feel like you've reached your health goals. Maybe you have no cravings. You've reached a stable weight. You're feeling good. At that point you can either continue to do it, or you can try to reintroduce some carbs. And I would do that very, very gradually. And I would really notice how the body is doing. And the main reason that you would want to do it is just to give yourself a little bit more variety of foods. So you can still be on a keto diet. What you want to have is a lot of vegetables. Vegetables are low carb. They have a very low glycemic index, meaning that your blood sugar doesn't rise very much, because they have a low degree of sugar that is embedded in fiber. So it's released very, very slowly in the body. And you can have as much non-starchy vegetables as you like on a keto diet, but again, if you've met your weight goals and your health goals, then you might want to start looking at a more variety of foods. Then introduce it. Slowly notice the changes, and make sure that you don't start developing any cravings or insulin resistance, or anything like that. So at that point, you're basically transitioning into a paleo-type diet, and again the number of carbs is going to be different for everybody at that point. Some people may not need to stay in ketosis, so they might get up to 70, 80 grams of carbs a day and still be fine with that. But it's still a low-carb diet. And you want to understand that white sugar and white flour will never have any major place. I mean, if you have a teaspoon here and there, it's probably not going to kill you, but it will never have a place in a healthy diet for humans, because it's not what we're designed to eat. If you want to take all the guesswork out of your diet and follow a guaranteed to work plan, then you'll love this brand new custom keto meal plan service. For the last few years, we've united leading nutritionists, personal trainers, and chefs to develop custom keto meal plans that are effective, convenient, cost-effective, and, most importantly, enjoyable. And when I say custom meal plan, I mean it. These aren't your run-of-the-mill. Here are some recipes pulled together from random blogs meal plans many nutrition gurus sell for way too much money. Instead, we tailor your entire meal plan to your own unique situation, needs, goals, and dietary preferences to ensure you experience optimal progress and follow a diet you enjoy. In other words, your days of suffering on ineffective and overly restrictive diets are finally over. It's time to start working based on a method that's best for you and you alone. So, how much fat do you want to shed? And how eagerly do you want to enhance your health? Week by week, you'll stand in front of the mirror with a tape measure in your hands and a smile on your face that won't disappear. Your stomach, arms and hips will be so lean down, you'll think it's not your body. You'll have to pinch yourself to prove it's really all you. Is that something that would transform your life? If so, I urge you to take your first step to a leaner, healthier you. While this offer is still on your mind, click on the link in the pinned comment below to find out how you can finally gain control over your health and figure, and get started today. You simply cannot lose here, so click on the link in the comment to get your custom keto meal plan.